It's March 30th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a killer finally uncovered, a mind-bending phenomenon put into words, and a single bell that unleashed chaos. Let's begin. On March 30th, 1896, a bargeman hauling through the River's Thames near Reading pulled a soaked paper bag parcel from the water and unknowingly uncovered one of Victorian England's darkest secrets. Inside was the tiny body of a baby girl, Helen Fry. At first, it looked like just another tragic discovery, but on the paper wrapping, police spotted something chilling, a faint address still visible through the water stains. That single mistake led detectives to a woman calling herself Mrs. Thomas of 26 Pigott Road. Her real name was Amelia Dyer. By the time the police tracked her down, she had already moved. But when they raided her new home, they found white tape matching the bindings used on the dead infant, pawn tickets for baby clothes, and desperate letters from mothers who believed their children had been placed in safe care. Instead, many had been murdered. She later confessed with a horrifying clue: "You'll know all mine by the tape around their necks." She was convicted in just 4.5 minutes, but Helen Fry was only the beginning. Investigators believe Dyer may have killed as many as 400 babies before the river finally gave one back. Some crimes stay hidden forever. This one almost did. On March 30th, 1896, inside a quiet Paris lecture hall, a doctor stood before a room of scientists and described a man who believed he had already lived his entire life, not once, but over and over again. The physician was Francois Leon Anew, and his patient was only known as Louis. At 34 years old, the former soldier had returned from overseas with an illness that changed him. At first, it was memory loss, confusion, and gaps in time. But then something far stranger began. Every moment felt familiar, not in the way that we all experience, fleeting and uncertain, but absolute, unshakable and terrifying. Louis believed that everything he saw had already happened. When he picked up a newspaper, he insisted he had already read it, even written it. And when he walked into a room, he claimed to know every word that was going to be spoken before anyone said it. At his own brother's wedding, surrounded by family, he calmly told them that the exact ceremony had already taken place, every detail, every moment, already lived. The doctors watched as reality itself seemed to loop around him. He wasn't remembering the past. He was trapped inside it. Anew called it something new, a pathological form of déjà vu. Not a feeling, not a delusion, a mind unable to tell the difference between memory and the present moment. And for Louis, there was no escape. Imagine knowing everything that's about to happen, but being completely powerless to change it. On March 30th, in the year 1282, as the evening fell over Palomar, the church began to ring for Vespers, and with them, something far darker awakened. Outside the Church of the Holy Spirit, a crowd gathered quietly. It was Easter Monday, families, couples, ordinary people. And then, in a single moment, everything changed. A drunken French soldier approached a Sicilian woman and laid his hands on her. Her fiancé lunged, and the soldier fell. Then, the crowd moved. What followed wasn't chaos, it was something colder, something waiting. As the bells continued to toll, voices rose through the streets. Death to the French. Within minutes, violence spread beyond the church into alleys, homes, and marketplaces. French soldiers were hunted, then civilians, and then anyone who couldn't prove they belonged. There was even a test. Suspected foreigners were forced to say a single word, Cicero. If they mispronounced it, they didn't survive. By nightfall, Palomar was no longer a city, it was a purge. And it didn't stop there. The uprising spread across Sicily like fire. Town after town turned, and within weeks, thousands were dead, with entire communities erased. What began as a single act became a coordinated massacre, a rebellion that had waited, listening for the bells. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.